Hi students, myself Lubna Afza. I am going to teach you the maths for 10th CBSE chapter 1 real number. So as you can see, we'll start up. As we can see, I have written here chapter 1, it is real numbers. Now in this chapter mainly you should be knowing for the exercise number 1.1, you should be mainly knowing what is Euclid's division algorithm. Okay, so what is algorithm? Okay, what is algorithm? It is nothing but a series of well-defined steps which gives you a procedure for solving a type of problem. Okay, what is algorithm? Algorithm is nothing but a series of well-defined steps. Okay, so we'll go through what is Euclid division algorithm. Now this algorithm has to do with the divisibility of your integers, and it is mainly used to compute the HCF okay, of two positive integer. So why we are using in this chapter Euclid division algorithm? It is mainly to compute the HCF of two positive integers. I hope you know what is the full form of HCF. It is highest common factor. Okay, so now what is this algorithm states? This algorithm states a positive integer a can be divided by another positive integer b in such a way that it leaves a remainder r, okay, that is smaller than b. So what it is, a, okay, if I write here a, it's a positive integer a which is been divided by b. Okay, so when I divide this, I'm going to get some thing, so that one I'm representing as q, and we will get in remainder that I'm going to represent it as r. So the equation for this divisibility, how it will be, a is equal to b into q plus r. So this r, okay, so this r, okay, so should be greater than, sorry, less than or equal to 0 or greater than b. So this r should be greater than or equal to 0 and less than b. Okay, so yeah, if I take an example here, now this, if I take an example here, so this is 10 and it has to be divided by 3. So this is 10 is a, 3 is b. Now if I divide this number by 3, so how much I'm going to get? So 3 3s are 9, so the remainder is 1. So this one, so this 3 we are calling it as divisor. This 10 I'm going to call it as dividend. We are going to call it as dividend. I hope you know this all. And this one we are going to call it as quotient. Okay, and this is your remainder. Okay, so this theorem or this algorithm is called as Euclid division algorithm. Okay, and take down one note here. So here q and r, q or r could be equal to, it could be also equal to 0. Okay, fine, all of you. So if I consider a variable, I have two variables, that is two positive integers c and d, c comma d. Now the first step to calculate or to apply Euclid's division multiplication is what? Step 1 is what? So this c has to be divided by d, so this will leave a remainder r again. So the equation becomes c is equal to d into q plus r, where r should be less than, greater than or equal to 0, less than or equal to d. Here we are using here d. Okay, in this equation we are using b. Okay, but here we are going to use it as d. Okay, so this is the equation. So this is step 1. In step 2, what we are doing in the step 2 is, now we have to see this remainder is equal to 0 or not. If it is equal to 0, then this d will be your HCF. So this divisor, okay, so this divisor will be your HCF. If it is not equal to 0, if your r is not equal to 0, so what I have to do? I have to again apply Euclid's division multiplication, and I'm going to apply such that or till that I get a remainder r is equal to 0. So once I get a remainder r is equal to 0, that means the HCF of that particular two numbers, the two positive numbers, here we have taken two positive number is C and D. So then it is D. Okay, all of you. So the step 3 is how we are going to write this equation. So once we calculate and once we do all these things, the step 3 is again continuity. So the next step is what? How to write this HCF. So what I'm going to write it as? I'm going to write it as HCF of C comma D. Two positive integer is what? Is equal to D. Okay. So this is how I'm going to write it. Okay. So I hope you people have understood this. We'll try to solve one problem here. One problem. Okay. We'll take one problem here. So the problem is exercise number 1.1. Okay, in that we'll take it as first problem. In this first problem, if you go through the first problem, he has asked you to calculate Euclid's division multiplication to find the HCF. So the first number what he has given is 135 and 225. Now if you see this two number, the first thing what we have to see is which is the greater number. Now if you see the two numbers here, if we observe carefully, then 225 is greater than 135. Now what is the Euclid's formula? It is A is equal to B into Q plus R. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to divide this number. So what is A here? It's 225. What is B here? 135. So if I divide this number, so how many times it goes? If you carefully look at these two numbers, it's going to divide by only 1. Okay, so it is 1. So this becomes 135. Now if I subtract this becomes 0. So this is lesser number, so I'm going to take a borrow here. So this is 90. Now if you see this is 90. So 90 is your remainder. Now this is not equal to 0. So what will the equation here? So A is what? 225 is equal to 135 into 1 plus 90. Now if you see this 90, so this is not equal to 0. So what is this? This is not equal to 0. So what we have to do? Again, for this numbers we have to apply Euclid's division algorithm. Now A becomes 135, B becomes 90. So what will I do? Again I'm going to divide this number. So 135, so this is 90, and this one if you see properly, it's again 1. If I divide here 90, so 5 minus 0 it is 5, 13 minus 9 it is 4. So it is 45. Now if I minus this, it is 45. So if you see this remainder, again this remainder is not equal to 0. So the equation becomes, or how do I write it? 135 is equal to 90 into 1 plus 45. Now if I see this 45, this is your remainder. Now this remainder is again not equal to 0. So what will I do? One more time I am going to do the division. So this is now what is A here? A is 90, B is 45. Now if you see this number properly, if you observe this, it is 5 and this is 0. So 45 2s are 90. Okay, so if I minus this, so this becomes 0. Now if you see this properly, now our remainder is 0. So the equation becomes 90 is equal to 45 into 1 plus 0. Now I am getting R is equal to 0. Now because as I am getting R is equal to 0, this is going to be my last step. Okay, so what is your divisor here? Divisor is 90. What is your divisor? Divisor is 45. So this is your HCF. So the last step we have to write. How do we write this? So HCF, open the bracket, which is the two number we have started with. It is 225 comma 135 equals HCF. Again, I'm going to take this numbers, because if I calculate the HCF, these two number also I'm going to get 45. If I calculate these two number also I'm going to get 45. If I calculate for these two numbers also I'm going to get 45. So that means the HCF of this is also 45. The HCF of this also is 45. That is 135 comma 90 is equal to HCF of 90 comma 45. So this is equal to 45. That means for all these three combinations, if I calculate the HCF, I'm going to get 45 only. Okay. I hope students, I hope you have understood this problem. Okay. So we'll go for the next problem. So the second problem is okay, the second problem is number 2. So what he has given 196 and 38,220. Okay, so now if I look properly this number, which is the greater number, so it is 38,220. So this is greater number than 196. Okay. Now we will calculate HCF of it. So the first we'll write the formula algorithm. So it is A is equal to BQ plus R. Okay, so how much we have to do the division till we get R is equal to 0. Okay, so it is how I'm going to write this: 38,220. This is A, so B is 196. Okay, now if you see this properly, starting three numbers, if I take 382, now this number is going to divide only 1 by 196. So I'm going to write it as 196. Okay, now if I subtract this, so this is, if I take carry 1, so this is going to be 6. Okay, if I take again here, this becomes 7. If I subtract this, so this becomes 8, and 2 minus 1 is 1. Okay, so I'm going to get 186. This 2 I'm going to take it down here. Okay, 2, and even 0 is there. 0 we will take it later. Okay, now if I multiply this, approximately if I multiply this, see here, if I multiply this for 10 times, okay, so it will be 1960. Okay, so the next number I'm going to take, so above one number, okay, because it is 1862. So 196 into 9. If I multiply this, so what I'm going to get, 1764. Okay, now this number I'm going to write it down here, 64, and if I subtract this, what I'm going to get, 2 is not going to subtract, so I'm going to take a carrier, so this becomes 8. Okay, again if I take this one, borrow here from here, so 15 minus 6, it's going to be 9. Okay, 7 minus 7, 0, and this is also 0. So what is the remainder? Remainder is 98. So one more 0 is there, so okay, this 0 also we have to take it down, so this becomes 0. Okay, now the easiest method I'm going to tell, as it is 0, that means I'm going to multiply and see 196 into 5. So it will be easily be available with your 5 table. So 196, this is also 9, this is also 9 into 5. If I multiply this, so 6 5s are how much? 30, 0, 3, 45, 45 plus 3, it is 48. Okay, 4 carrier, so 5 ones are 5, 90. So exactly we are going to get this number. So this is we have multiplied by 9 before, only I have written, so this is 5. Okay, so 196 into 5, it's 980. So the remainder is 0. With one step only we have got it 0. So the equation becomes 38,220 is 0. That is 220 is equal to 196 into 195 plus 0. Okay, as R is equal to 0, we are going to stop this. There is no further calculations. Okay, so the last step is we have to write it down. This is very important. This carries marks, so this step is must for you people. Okay, so this is also must. This equation also carries marks. Okay, so this one. Okay, if you have to write, if you write this also, it's going to help you to get more marks. Okay, so you can write this in bracket or you can put it in comma and then write it. So HCF for which two number we have calculated? 38,220,196. Okay, so this is equal to, what is the divisor here? It is 196. Okay, so I hope you have understood the second problem also. We'll go to the third problem now. Third problem now. Okay, so I'll change the color. I'll take it black now for the third problem. So the third problem is 167. Third problem it is. Okay, I'll write it like this so that you should not get confused. And it is 255. Okay, so this is the greatest number. Which is the greatest number? First you have to see that 867 is the greater than 255. Okay, so write the equation is equal to P into Q plus R. Okay, so we'll start the division here. 867 255. Okay, so if I start this dividing, if I see this number properly, if you observe this properly, it is 2 3s are 6. Okay, so what will I do? I will multiply this one by 3. So if I multiply this one with 3, okay, 3 5s are how much? 15. So 5 1 carrier. Okay, 3 6 are 18. 18 plus 1, 3 6 are, okay, so you're going to get 765. Okay, so if I subtract this, so this is 2 0 and 1. Okay, now if you see this, the remainder is 102. This again it could not be divided, so the equation becomes 867 is equal to 255 into 3 plus R is how much? 102. Now if you say this, R is not equal to 0. It is not equal to 0. So what we'll do? We will do one more calculation, that is one more division. So here now A becomes 255 and B becomes 102. So the equation is, so 255 102. If I divide this, 2s are 2 times. If I divide 2 4 0 and this becomes 2. Correct, all of you? So now if I subtract, so this becomes 1 and 5. Okay, so now if you see this 51 cannot be again divided here. Okay, so the remainder is 51. So the equation becomes, for this division, the equation becomes 255 is equal to 102 into 2 plus 51. So the 51, if you check, R is not equal to 0. So one more calculations we will do. Now here in this calculation, A is 102 and B is 51. So this becomes 51. If you see properly, if you observe this, 51 2s are, so 2 1s are 2, 2 5s are 10. So this becomes minus, if I subtract, so this becomes, it give me 0. So the remainder is equal to 0. Okay, so this is my final step in the calculations. Okay, so this becomes 102 is equal to 51 into 2 plus 0. Now if you see properly, this is R is equal to 0. Okay, now this is the last step. Now the final step is, this is the, in calculation, this is the last step. So the last step you have to write HCF is equal to 867 comma 255 is equal to, you can tell with me students, okay, HCF 255 comma 102 is equal to HCF 102 102. So this should not be there. Once again. Okay, so okay, so comma 51. So this is equal to 51. Okay, so the last divisor. So 51. So this is your HCF. Okay, so this is your last problem of question number 1 in exercise 1.1. So in exercise 1.1 you have still more problems. I'm going to solve it in my next new video. Okay, all of you, I hope you people have understood. If you have understood properly the concept, so please subscribe, share and like, and also comment my video. I will see you in my next video. Happy learning. Stay tuned, stay happy.